Node 2026, a 20-year preparation period. When discussing the timing of China's unification with Taiwan, Qiquan believes that 2026 is a key node. A node that cannot be postponed because fulfilling a political promise is big thing in China. This also is one good example to show that the moral forces is solid ingredient in the political operating mechanism of China. Nowadays, both Western and Eastern political research scholars completely ignore the power of morality. At least they belittle it. The vast majority of scholars who study political structures, political power, and imperial order base their theoretical foundations and ways of thinking on Western political models. These scholars often infinitely magnify the power of legal provisions, the importance of the state apparatus, and the significance of economic power. They are completely unaware that there is another important force in the operation of political structures and order, and that is moral force. The kind of moral force has never been absent from Chinese political management and order maintenance. The unification of Taiwan must take place in 2026 because a strong and solid moral force, but this event has to be here. This moral force is like a spring that has been bent strongly and has stored enough power. And this stress has reached its limit. If this stress is not released, it will burst out in the opposite direction, creating a huge break in the current Chinese political order, bringing a series of chaos. In a book published in 2023, Qiquan clearly mentions that President Xi Jinping's political success is closely related to his political commitment. Although there is no insider information to confirm this inference, it can be verified from the laws of China's political operation. What is important is when to fulfill Xi Jinping's political commitment. Qiquan believes that a 20-year preparation period is the most likely assumption. Firstly, a 20 years period is considered a long enough preparation time to unify Taiwan. Second, 20 years will not be enough to build a super bad political structure. In other words, the Chinese would allow the establishment of a centralized power system. But if a person has not achieved significant historical merits, then he will not be allowed. We can now directly talk about the matter of political commitment and its fulfillment. We also can review the moral force in China's political power structure as well. Between 2009 and 2011, Xi Jinping suffered political defeat. The Jiang Zemin faction was preparing to replace him with another political star, Bo Xilai. The first blow that was publicly announced was that he was delayed from taking up the post of vice chairman of the Central Military Commission in 2009. According to the inertia of China's political operation, he should be so at that time. This delay proved that Xi Jinping was being blocked by multiple political forces. There is another public fact. 6 of the 9 people in China's highest authority at the time came forward to support Bo Xilai, who was in the dazzling political light at the time. Among these 6 people, even Xi Jinping himself was included. At that time, the most powerful political group in China was the Jiang Group. It was impossible for Hu Jintao, who had become China's nominal supreme leader 10 years ago, to weaken the power of the Jiang Zemin Group. But the Jiang Zemin Group abandoned Xi Jinping and promoted Bo Xilai instead. The Hu Jintao Group also wanted to squeeze Xi Jinping. The Hu Jintao Group wanted to support Li Keqiang to lead the political direction of China. The political power of Bo Xilai's family once again surpassed that of Xi Jinping's family. Imagine, Xi Jinping had to make extraordinary efforts to reverse his decline. Fortunately, China still has the greatest political force, the moral force brought about by the banner of unifying Taiwan. Unifying Taiwan is not only a political and military card for the Chinese people, but most importantly, it is a moral card. It is a moral force that can unite all Chinese people. Once this banner is raised, no one dares to block it. This is the moral force deeply embedded in the Chinese cultural system for thousands of years. Any Chinese person who dares to explicitly oppose unification will immediately be politically dead. But unifying Taiwan is definitely a century-old problem. Even Chairman Mao, a great hero in world history, was unable to accomplish this task. Can this task be accomplished in the hands of Xi Jinping? Of course it is difficult. Unifying Taiwan is definitely an extremely difficult task for anyone. This is the fundamental reason why other Chinese political groups are willing to fully support Xi Jinping in establishing an authoritative political center. However, how long will the political groups in China give Xi Jinping to prepare? This is another question. Qiquan speculates that a preparation time of 20 years is a reasonable answer. The reasons are as follows. 1. Based on the current level of Chinese technology, 20 years is a reasonable amount of time to catch up with the military advances of the United States. At least China can get close to the tech level of the US. 2. 20 years is enough time for Xi Jinping to establish an authoritative, efficient, and loyal power execution system. 3. 20 years is a period during which Xi Jinping is in a safe zone in terms of physical health. Most importantly, 20 years is not enough time to establish an impenetrable power system. The bottom line for this 20-year period is November 2027. If Xi Jinping fails to fulfill his political promises before the deadline, there is a huge risk that his power empire will collapse. Not only that, but the tough measures he has implemented during these 20 years will come back to bite him. During these 20 years, other political groups in China will come after him for concessions they have made. All the support the Chinese people have given him under the banner of morality will turn against him. All these counterattacks will not be solely at Xi Jinping. There is even a possibility that his blood family, his spouse's blood family, and his maternal family will be implicated and liquidated. This will cost them dearly.